Welcome back to Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lordan, and joining me as always is...
Christy Arnhart.
Do you have your Paranormal Perspective sunglasses? Not quite. Yeah, not quite Zach Baggins approved, but if I meet him, I'm going to make him sign a pair, and then I'm going to wear them.
Oh my gosh,
That's
yeah.
my plan. That's my plan.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. If you would like to get your hands on some of these, you have to come to one of two events. The first one is CrimeCon 2024, happening in Nashville, Tennessee from May 31st to June 2nd. How are you going to get in? Wow, John, that ticket's kind of expensive. We've got you covered. 10% off if you use the code LordanArts, LORDANARTS. LordanArts, put that code in, save 10% on a standard pass over at crimecon.com/CC24. Christy's going to be there. You get a signature, get a picture with both of us in your sunglasses. Imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't sell it on eBay. And then there's another event happening, which I don't know. Christy and I still have to talk. I'm not 100% sure if you're going to come out to this one or not. I think you should.
I think I should too, but
yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
We'll have to discuss. The True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival happening in Denver, Colorado from July 12th to the 14th. John, the tickets, they're too expensive. I've got a code for you there too. The code there is Lordan, just Lordan. That will save you 15% off a ticket over at truecrimepodcastfestival.com. Come out and meet us, hang out with us. And I've got a special session that I'm working on for True Crime Podcast Festival. Christy, some of you are probably too new to know this, but I've been at this a little while. One of the earlier videos I did back in 2015, 16-ish was about the Denver International Airport. Well, that conference is happening and I'll be flying into that airport. So I thought, hey, we should have a conversation about that. So there's going to be a panel discussion all about Denver International Airport with Justin from Generation Y and myself. And we're going to do it in kind of this paranormal perspective type of format, but get this, to flip the script, I'm going to be the believer.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to be the one bringing the photos, the word on the street, the theories, which I'm steeped in because I remember what they were from back in that time. And a lot of that stuff has disappeared. So I'm glad I got the video because I know they changed a lot of the artwork after that stuff kind of came out. I know the horse that killed its creator is still there. But a lot of the artwork that was inside of the airport, I believe, has been changed out. But we'll be talking about all that kind of stuff. So
that's suspicious.
Yeah, come on out to the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival. Enough ads, John. What are we doing? How many ads can we jam in the first 4 minutes of the show here? Christy has been working hard to pull together today's episode, and I'm just interrupting her like crazy. Christy, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about eclipses and the omens and of things to come.
Oh, is there an eclipse happening? I don't think I've heard anything about that.
Well, amazingly enough, on Monday, Arkansas will be in the totality of the eclipse. We'll see a full eclipse. And I mention it in here. I mean, it's crazy. We're going to have 4 minutes and I'm right in the line of it. So we've already got our glasses bought.
There's a lot of people that really go for the eclipse thing and see it as some type of big indicator. I know that there's some religious personalities that are leaning into it as a sign from God or something. And there's kind of that angle that's being hit with it. I know there's a lot of people that are just kind of annoyed at the prospect of emergencies being declared over tourism. Basically, there's certain areas like your area, right? They're kind of going through that as well. Yeah. We have some people saying I'm on the path in there too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds great. What's the question? Of course, we record this with a live audience. They're part of the mechanic here that decides who wins. What's the question we're going to put to them today, Christy?
Are eclipses omens of things to come?
Are eclipses... I'm going to throw the word supernatural. No, an omen. Well, Yeah, I'm gonna throw supernatural in there just to make sure we're on point. Supernatural omens. Does that sound fair? Are eclipses supernatural omens?
Fair.
Okay.
That's fair. Okay. I always considered omens to be supernatural, but not everybody might.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that could be its own episode. But okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
All right.
So, yes. I am
talk.
in the path of totality for the eclipse, and it is so bad here. They've let out most businesses and all the schools for Monday.
Okay.
Everything is rented everywhere. People are sleeping in fields. One whole part of Greer's Ferry Lake, which is not far from here, has been completely bought out by Chinese tourists. It's like one whole side of the lake out there.
I remember a eclipse happening when I was in elementary school. They didn't let us out. They made us go, and it happened while we were at school. And we made those, taking the tube and then having the flat piece of paper on the end. Like, we made those visors where you could at least watch the shadow of it on the ground. Yeah, you don't get the day off from school. Is your niece expecting the day off? Is your niece expecting the day off?
Oh yeah, and she's got the day off.
What? This is nonsense.
Even my husband. Yeah, even my husband's got the day off.
What?
Seriously. People down here are really, really superstitious, though. And there are a lot of superstitions around eclipses.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, I don't even know that I have witnessed a full eclipse before. I can't remember. I mean, if you remember, then I should remember one, but I don't remember it. Maybe it didn't hit my part of the world like it did yours.
Yeah, and I have a terrible memory, so for me to remember something you don't yeah, that's weird.
Well, eclipses have always been thought to herald bad events. Whether it's the apocalypse or the death of somebody important, something to be feared is always coming because of the eclipse. It's amazing because you have all these different cultures, and most of the beliefs all involve some kind of beast trying to destroy the sun by devouring it. And then, somebody there, I don't know if it's light and dark, something saves the sun. It's crazy. I think a lot of people equate the sun to humanity's soul in these superstitions. But it's crazy.
I would think like early man experiencing an eclipse. Like, I think my first assumption if I saw something like that would be, oh no, the sun is going out. Like, I would probably think it's the end of time and the sun is going out. But then a couple minutes later, all of a sudden you see it come back. So I could see where there might be some lore kind of built up around the idea of, oh, the sun went out for a little bit, but then it lit back up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't want to scream at it and promise you'll do better in life, like Native Colombians did.
Wow.
It's not one of Loki's giant wolf children that ate the sun, like the Norse believe. And the Chippewa people would shoot flaming arrows at the sun to try to reignite it.
Wow.
I know.
That's cool.
It's really, really, really neat to see how these people do this. And sometimes, the sun's equated to a woman and the moon's a man, and they get into a fight. So that's why you have the eclipse. There's just all kinds of cutesy ways that people have done this. Now, I know here in the South, I don't know how much, if this is all over the United States or in Europe or what, but I mean, people feared the eclipse so much. When this happens, the temperature can drop as much as 20 degrees. Winds will change. It messes up, the animals' flow. You've got all your farm animals going to sleep, and then all the nighttime creatures waking up. And they even believed that causes the dew to drop sometimes when the temperature goes so low.
Yeah.
And people used to believe it would poison their water, that it would give them the plague. They thought they would turn their dishes upside down so the dew wouldn't contaminate their dishes when they tried to eat off of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you're pregnant, just give it up. If you're pregnant during a full eclipse, your child will have birth defects, which is totally not true.
Wow.
But that's just one of those superstitions,
Yeah.
Now, even today, Almanac.com says that as recently as 2010, during the annual partial eclipse, out of fear, people stayed home. That was a partial, and that was in 2010.
Yeah.
So businesses have started to close because they see a dip in business that day. Schools closed because, people quit showing up. So they did. They just started shutting everything down. You'd think we'd never seen one before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen this map before. This is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that shows the line of totality across the U.S.
Yeah, but it's going to be visible from anywhere in the U.S. at some time, right? In some way.
Right.
It's not going to be a total eclipse. Got it. Okay.
Yep. This is just our first turn. And, I guess I understand. It's not just that it's terrifying that the sun's disappeared and you don't know if it's coming back. Yeah. But looking at it blinds you. So I can see how, people were very distrustful and superstitious.
Yep. I see that we've got some pictures queued up. I don't know if I need to get to them or if they're just to kind of show at random times, but...
Oh, you can show them as I talk about them. I think I've got them all.
Because I have a monster eating the sun here.
Yes, and that's a beast eating the sun. I don't even know what culture this is from, honestly, but it's another representation. I mean, the sun does not disappear. Hindu. The moon doesn't hide it. Yeah, something eats it.
At least the way the file is named, it says Hindu Rahu.
Ah, good deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one. That one's colorful.
Yeah. Oh, now, no. People in despair.
This is my representation of people screaming at the sun to come back. And that cracked me up. And they list all the ways they'll improve their life. I'll do better. I'll do better. Until it comes back out. This, of course, is Loki's son trying to eat the sun itself. He looks kind of goofy. Now this... Babylonians had a lot of knowledge about eclipses, which Babylonians had a lot of knowledge that blows everybody's mind, right?
Yeah.
One of their beliefs was that during an eclipse, they had to, if Jupiter was visible, because you can see a lot of different planets and whatnot while the eclipse is happening. And they believed if you could see Jupiter, the king would be okay. If you couldn't see Jupiter, they had to do all these rituals and whatnot to try to save the king because he was going to die for some reason. Now, some of the other, I've got some historical ones here. That's a Chinese representation of a dragon eating the sun, which is one of the things that they believed. Now, I found a really neat story on history.com. And it's supposed to be one of the earliest recorded eclipses appears in ancient Chinese documents, the one called the Book of History, to be exact. Now, it described a day on which the sun and moon did not meet harmoniously. They think this references the solar eclipse of October 22nd, 2134 BC. Supposedly, 2 royal astronomers decided to take the day off and get drunk, and then the eclipse happened, and because they didn't predict it so everybody could react, they got beheaded.
Oh my God, so, this sounds, I mean, the first part of it sounds like almost like a comedy story from at that time. You're like, yeah, these 2 guys went and got drunk. Look at what happened. They weren't watching the sky like they were supposed to.
Like, do your job.
Yeah.
Especially if an eclipse is involved or you are in some serious trouble. So in 763 BC in Assyria, there was this huge revolt in the city of Ashur that took place during an eclipse. Couldn't have been a very long one if it took place during the eclipse, but
yeah, it's a quick little revolt.
I mean, it's like 5 minutes. So King Henry I of England died in 1133 AD during a solar eclipse.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
That's not good luck. Yeah.
No. Looks like a nice guy, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of these photos look very similar. The artists were, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, one eclipse brought peace to 2 different peoples. Herodotus wrote about a total solar eclipse that brought about a ceasefire between the Lydians and the Medes. They'd been fighting for 4 years trying to get control of Anatolia, but during the Battle of Halys, also known as the Battle of the Eclipse interrupted their fighting. They all took it as a sign from God that he didn't want them to fight anymore, so they got together and come up with a truce.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
That's a good outcome, yeah.
Well, Charlemagne died during an eclipse. The prophet Muhammad's son, Ibrahim, and Jesus all died during eclipses. And we assume it's an eclipse because the Bible says, that the sky went dark for a certain amount of time. It sounds just like an eclipse.
Okay.
I need to look into it and see if they've actually, knocked it down to a day or what. But yeah, all of them. Now, this one's, I don't know why I laugh at this one, and I shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
Uh-oh.
Louis of Bavaria, who was also known as Louis the Pious, was the son of Charlemagne. Now, he died of fright shortly after he saw about 5 minutes of darkness during a total eclipse.
Okay.
I guess because his dad, had died that way. But I don't know why I find that so funny. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Is this his dad? Who's this one? Do you know?
That is the Pious. Is it? Or is that Charlemagne? I don't know. What does it say under there?
That might be. This is the Pious.
That's the Pious.
Yeah. Louis the Pious. This is the one before him. I'm not sure.
So that would be Charlemagne.
Okay.
Now, most disturbingly,
yeah,
Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, and Aleister Crowley are all said to have conducted rituals in the Thelemic religion during eclipses. And let's just hope that whatever they did not happen, because that is a messed up group of people.
Yeah. What, this guy? You think this guy's a messed up?
I mean, you're like, should I take this seriously? But no, he was a scary, scary person.
Yeah, I think I just found my hat for the paranormal convention that we're going to.
I think you can buy them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It also doubles as
Amazon.
A comfy pillow. Yeah.
It does. Triangle pillow.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, good or bad, eclipses have always heralded change. They have always, good and bad omens are attached to them. A lot of people, even with the science that we have today, consider it a supernatural event that you just don't mess with.
Well, maybe we're doing this episode too soon because the eclipse isn't happening till Monday. And maybe by then you're going to have some kind of personal experience to be able to wrap in with this. So I'm gonna just leave it as a little open footnote. If something does happen on Monday, remember during the next episode we're recording to tell me about it, and I'll add it to this episode. So if that's happening, I'm gonna run it right now. Well, we are here. It is a week later. We're on the other side of the eclipse. Yeah. Christy was in the path of totality. We're showing you that path right now. And I don't know, out here I didn't really notice anything happen. Christy, how did it go from where you were?
Well, we had a beautiful sunny day. There were no clouds in our area, and we just literally walked out on our patio. We had a clear view. It was very, very surreal. Once the light starts to drop, it takes almost 2 hours for it to actually hit totality. So we were in and out, looking around until that last hour, and it seemed like things started to speed up. And my husband said that it was like being in the Toadash from the Stephen King movies, because the light was out, it was sunny, but everything was muted. It almost seemed like sound was muted. The wind would blow, it'd stop, it'd blow from a different direction. You can't take pictures of any of it, unfortunately, because they just don't turn out on your camera. I did take a few pictures that are just odd, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, we did a little search before we started recording today, and I was just wondering if, was there any particular instances? Did people notice that did you have any bad luck or anything like the stuff we were worried about in the episode last week?
Well, no, I mean, nothing that I did, according to the legends, hurt me in any way. I ate, I drank, I did all that stuff, and it didn't matter. I did have a personal thing happen that's been tragic, and my sister-in-law's father had been told, I believe it was last year, that he had an aneurysm near his heart. They didn't know how long to give him, anything like that. Well, that burst during the eclipse, and he is still in the hospital. He's going through 20-hour surgery today.
Oh, wow.
So all your thoughts with him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about this. There was the earthquake in New York right before.
Yeah, that is one thing we've been seeing in some of the news coverage on it. The earthquake in New York. There's also a terrible story out of LA, and a big thank you to our live audience that's with us here for letting us know about that one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a terrible story out there. That's more of a story of someone having a belief structure about the eclipse and it being the end of the world, and then deciding to harm her own family and herself. So certainly a dark thing there, but outside of that, I'm not seeing any trends of, generalized kind of people having mass amounts of bad luck or anything like that. One of the things that stuck out to me in terms of these articles that I think is just kind of fun is like, here are some of the worst eclipse photos. And it reminds me of what happened when I opened an email I got from Christy today, and she said eclipse photos, and I was like, oh, cool. Because honestly, it was the second email that I've gotten that says eclipse photos. Let's take a look.
This is weird. Okay, those trees in our yard have leaves on them, but when the sunlight started coming through them before totality hit, all you got were the branches, and everything looked like it was just a charcoal drawing.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were trying to show here. I'm like, yeah, they're shadows, but I wasn't sure what the difference was that you were trying to note.
Look at how defined and everything they are. And it was weird when you could catch a spot that had leaves. They were like all bunched up together on the ground, not as big as they usually are. But this, you can see how distinct it is. This was not long before totality, and the limbs just crawl over everything.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. Well,
weird.
I ran these pictures by an expert. And I don't know if we've actually had this expert. We've had some experts here on Paranormal Perspective before, but this is someone that can process just millions of points of information very, very quickly. And she has some comments about this. Let's bring her on. This is AI Christy. AI Christy, do you have a comment here?
Oh my God, John, is she for real? I've got pictures of shadows too. The shadow of me kicking her butt, and I did it real good.
Okay. That's,
oh my gosh, she sucks.
That is an expert. Sucks. It's an expert opinion though, Christy.
According to what?
And let's be fair. I want to be fair here because when I first saw these photos, I wanted to email you back and say, Christy, you were facing the wrong way. Because I took a picture during the eclipse as well, and I was totally facing the wrong way. Look, this was the picture that I took right in the middle of the totality.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I too drank during
I mean, come on, Christy. Were you facing the wrong way? It's like the whole ass end of your microphone thing all over again. Get it together, girl.
Okay. I don't think we need the expert here anymore. Let's
she's gonna be surprised what I stick the ass end up.
Right
where the sun don't shine, where it's already eclipsed.
I did want to say, so you were the second person to send me photos of the eclipse. The first actually was Lane, a viewer of ours, but they were from a different eclipse. This was from an eclipse in 2017, but this picture is awesome for a few reasons to me. Look at that.
Wow.
What a great
Such
capture.
A good picture.
Yeah. But what is going on with this object? Is the moon shaped like a football?
See, I thought it was an odd shape too. Is it a UFO?
I don't know. And if nothing ran, that means nothing happened, or she didn't tell me, and here we are. We're back.
And I'll definitely tell him. Trust me.
Okay.
So, I'll keep my eyes out. But yeah, that is my presentation today.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Like, I don't really have any major points to dispute. I think there is kind of a common sense element to, they don't happen very often. And we've got good records keeping, especially now, but that has been developing over generations at this point. And, you know, a couple 100 years ago, like, could someone have experienced one of those without having any knowledge of what an eclipse is at all? Definitely. So especially when you're talking about some of these things that are BC and, you know, yeah. Like I get that some people could get freaked out. People, you know, fear affects people in severe ways, can affect them physically as well. So stories about someone being scared by an eclipse to the point of death, I think it's possible. But that's all still in the realm of what I consider kind of reality and you know, like a scientific reality. Is it supernatural is where I'm not sure.
It is.
Oh, it is? Okay, we just heard the answer. So if she said it is.
It is. It is. You can't even cook food during the eclipse. Or
what do you mean you can't cook food?
Seriously,
now, here's
these
one
are all
thing
the
you can't
superstitions.
do. You can't get a tan for the 5 minutes.
There you go.
But I'm pretty sure I could cook food. Now you've got. Is that a challenge? Are you throwing down a challenge? I'm gonna cook some spicy nuts right in the middle of the eclipse.
They'll be poisoned. Don't do it. The moon dew or whatever it is.
Speaking of which, do I need to bring some spicy nuts when we see each other at these conventions?
God, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
She
stole a bag last time.
Of those.
She stole a bag.
I did. And I was sitting in bed late that night with a drink and those nuts, eating them in bed. John was like, ugh.
Yeah.
There's shells everywhere.
Yeah. You stole the pistachios.
I did.
All right.
I didn't ask.
All right. Well, we put it to our live audience here. Are eclipses supernatural omens? 31%. Oh, it just changed because Christy just voted on it. 33% say yes. But that means 67% say no. And when that happens, I get to run my favorite video clip.
This ratty old sheet.
You're not going to use that sheet in bed anymore. It's your costume.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not using that.
I think I should make you wear one of those sheets at the conventions. We should do a total of how many times you've won and I've won. And if I have more, then you should wear the sheet at the convention. If you have more, then I should wear the sheet at the convention. I don't know.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. As always, Christy. Well, go ahead.
I bet I won't be wearing the sheet.
Oh, really? We're going to do a tally? Release the results at the convention? I'm pretty sure I might be ahead.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit. All right. So one thing I'm curious about is if we did add a story from the future into this episode, if that would have changed the vote at all, or even my opinion. And I'm not going to know that unless, okay, I'll insert it right now if it does change my opinion. So if nothing happened and you didn't see anything there, it didn't change my opinion. Here I am. So I like this doing episodes based on things in the future that are probably not going to happen. This is great.
Oh, come on. You don't know that.
Well, the thing is, now I've got you triggered to have a bad day on Monday. I mean, that's basically
No, I'm just going to be looking for like tragedy everywhere.
I know.
Like, oh.
I know. You're going to be so open to negativity and things like, a tree's going to fall down or something. Yeah, something.
Because of the eclipse.
Oh, I hope not. I don't want you to have a bad day.
Well, I'm not going to eat anything. Definitely.
Well, you
not
can't because you can't
anything.
cook. You can't cook. So how are you going to eat?
No. I'm afraid to do anything other than just stand there, to be honest with you.
I hope.
After reading all this.
I hope everything goes well. I hope everything goes smoothly, and I hope you aren't super annoyed at the thousands of people that are crammed up in your front yard looking up at the sky.
Gosh, it's insane. They're like, fill up your gas cans now because there's not going to be any gas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a run on everything. Be sure you stock up on water and milk and all that good stuff.
So we can stand outside for 5 minutes.
That's it. That's it. Watch everyone yell at the sky in terror. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We appreciate you being here, and we will catch you on a future episode and maybe on the other side. We might see you there too. Take care, everybody.